Hello, I am Dr. Farshad Amini Behbahani and this is short course of Iranian traditional medicine. In this section, we discuss about signs and symptoms of dominancy of sanguine humor. Sanguine humor is also called blood humor, which is different from the blood that is circulating in our vessels. It contains all four humors. Sanguine humor is told that have sweet taste and red color. It is the main produced humor in the liver, and it is the most consumed humor by the organs. It is the main source of production of vital spirit in the heart. So some scholars like to consider it as equal to glucose, calcium, or even sodium and potassium, which is another story. When we talk about dominancy of sanguine humor, it means more production of normal sanguine humor, not another humor. If we have more production of all humors, we have a kind of disease which is called fullness or more than vessel capacity fullness. And if we have abnormal sanguine humor, we have another disease which is called weak faculty fullness. Both these two diseases has some signs and symptoms similar to signs and symptoms of sanguine humor dominancy, but there are some different signs and symptoms. For example, in true fullness or fullness because of more production of all four humors, which is called more than vessel capacity fullness, we have tiredness without any working, which is similar to dominancy of sanguine humor. We have laziness, which is somehow similar to dominancy of sanguine humor. But we have loss of appetite, which is not seen in dominancy of sanguine humor. We have dominant or prominent vessels and fullness of the pulse. You feel a vessel, an artery full under your fingers, under all of your four fingers. I will explain it in pulse section, with wide and high. You have a full vessel in fullness. But in sanguine humor dominancy, we have only under 3 fingers pulse, which can be a little fast, a little wide, but not so full as you see in fullness. In the fullness, in true fullness, you have feeling of traction of skin. The patient feel fullness in the body. Patient feel heaviness in his or her limbs. Of course, in sanguine humor dominancy, we have some feeling of heaviness, but mostly in the head. In fullness, in true fullness, we have a special dreaming. Patient have dream of inability to move or run. Patient feel heaviness even in his or her dreaming, which is somehow different with dreaming in dominancy of sanguine humor. In weak faculty fullness also we have tiredness, but tiredness in weak faculty fullness is after working, after a little working, for example 1 hour or 2 hours of working, the patient feel tiredness. We have also laziness in weak faculty fullness, like dominancy of sanguine humor, but we have loss of appetite like true fullness in weak faculty fullness. Patient with weak faculty fullness or fullness because of production of abnormal sanguine humor or any abnormal humors, other humors, dream of burning and bad smelling. Also in weak faculty fullness we have some signs and symptoms related to abnormal humor. For example, when we have mixture of sanguine humor with abnormal melancholic humor, we have some psychosis with laughing. Or when it is mixed with choleric humor, we have some anger, some psychotic anger or mania. In watery sanguine humor, we have some anemia. We have abnormal color under the nails. Let's talk about signs and symptoms of dominancy of sanguine humor. A patient with dominancy of sanguine humor feels heaviness, especially in the head area, in temporal area, and in the root of eyes. The patient suffers from heavy long sleep and yawing and stretching during the day. The patient has blurred senses and foggy thinking, which cause some sort of laziness. You have to call him or her several times to notice you or to obey you. Patient with dominancy of sanguine humor suffer from acne or comedon, especially in the face area or in the chest or between two scapulas or between two shoulders, the place that we put the cupping for wet cupping. It's a good sign for diagnosis of dominancy of sanguine humor. The patient suffer from itching between two scapula. Also, the skin of patient or sclera of the eye turn to red. Patient feel a strange taste of sweetening in his or her mouth. Sometimes patient give you a history of easy bleeding from the gums, nose, or anal area. Easy means that, for example, by simple brushing of the teeth, you have bleeding from gums without any gum diseases or without any dental problem. Patient when speak from his or her dreaming will tell you about seeing red objects, not only those objects that are regularly red. For example, patients may see more than usual blood or bleeding in her or in his dreaming. But there are another object in dreaming that usually are not red, but patients see them red. For example, all of the furniture in the dreaming is red. That's because the vapor of the sanguine humor will mixed with psychic spirit during dreaming. You can give a history of too much consumption of nutritional food that produce more sanguine humor, for example, meats and wine. Also, usually patients in an age that its temperament is warm and wet. Actually, warm and wet intrinsic temperament and also balanced intrinsic temperament all are susceptible to dominancy of sanguine humor. Spring is a season with warm and wet temperament in idea of some scholars, or balanced temperament in Avicenna's idea, which help to production or agitation of sanguine humor with same signs and symptoms of dominancy of sanguine humor. And also living in a balanced climate area, I mean climate area number 4 and those part of climate area number 5 and 3 that is near to climate number 4. This area, which is most populated area on the earth, is a proper area for more production of sanguine humor. Or somehow patients live in a some geographic position with some mountain that cause more production of sanguine humor. Sometimes patients give you a history of several wet cupping or blood donating, which has been stopped recently and cause retention of sanguine humor and lead to dominancy of sanguine humor. Because by wet cupping we expel sanguine humor and the nature used to eat and prepare itself for sanguine humor expelling by more production of sanguine humor. If you cut a habit, you have a disease, and disease of cutting habit of wet cupping is dominancy of sanguine humor.